Despite a state law prohibiting it, the Texas Lottery Commission is making lottery sales available online, this time inside the Uber app. This is Monday, January 20th, 2025.
Texas Scorecard presents the day's first news for the Lone Star State, the Texas Minute, with your host, Michael Quinn Sullivan.
Happy Inauguration Day. Thanks for kicking off your week with the Texas Minute. Our own Brandon Waltens is in Washington, D.C. We'll hear from him coming up in just a moment. On Friday, Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick announced his Texas Senate committee appointments and upholding a promise not to give chairmanships to Democrats. No Democrat chairs is a legislative priority of the Texas GOP, which maintains that the majority party should control each chamber's committees. Patrick's announcement came 2 days after senators voted on their permanent rules for the 89th legislature, which defines the structure of the Senate standing committees for this session. Meanwhile, the Texas House has yet to vote on its own rules, much less assign committees. Republican U.S. Representative Morgan Luttrell has introduced legislation to provide additional federal funding for state and local law enforcement authorities to help combat human sex trafficking. There are believed to be more than 300,000 individuals being trafficked in and through Texas. Unfortunately, the Lone Star State ranks second in the nation for trafficking. Despite the cold weather, Texas Scorecard's Brandon Waltens is in Washington, D.C. for the inauguration, where he filed this quick report.
Hey, Michael, checking in from Washington, D.C., where, of course, later today, President Donald Trump going to be inaugurated once again as the 47th President of the United States. The weather here, obviously cold. Certainly that's affected the festivities. The inaugural ceremony is not going to be taking place outside the Capitol like we're used to. Instead, he's going to have his inauguration take place, I believe, inside the Capitol. But still, lots of people here, hundreds of thousands of people here who have showed up, who are just trying to be part of the moment despite this inclement weather. A number of Texans here, Texas lawmakers, grassroots folks. And so that's the update from here in D.C., and we'll see him be sworn in today at noon.
Thanks, Brandon. The Texas Minute will be right back.
The odds of winning the lottery are already slim.
Get ready to play the games of Texas.
But in 2023, with the third largest jackpot on the line, it became nearly impossible for the average Texan to win. It turns out, it's hard to compete against an international gambling syndicate buying up $25 million worth of tickets. How did they pull it off? You might be shocked to learn with the help of the Lottery Commission itself. That's just one of the stories we're uncovering in Season 9 of Exposed. We're pulling back the curtain on the rigged games, political corruption, and corporate scandals that have plagued the Texas Lottery for years. Listen to Exposed, Gateway Drug, and discover the truth behind the numbers.
Exposed, Season 9. Available now, wherever you get your podcasts.
Despite state law prohibiting the online sales of lottery tickets, an Uber passenger in Texas recently received a free lottery ticket offer from Lotto.com on the ride-sharing app after completing a ride. The Texas Sunset Commission just issued a report critical of the Lottery Commission staff for abusing their power and exceeding state law. Texas lawmakers are currently contemplating reining in the rogue commission and the proliferation of online gambling through so-called courier companies. Lotto.com sells lottery tickets, including scratch tickets, online and accepts credit card payments, practices that aren't legal in Texas. The Uber customer who reported the advertisement to Texas Scorecard said they have no history of gambling or lottery participation and were surprised by the offer. It's worth noting that the top 20% of lottery players account for up to 80% of lottery sales. That group is dominated by uneducated, low-income minorities. You can find the details of this story and the others mentioned today and keep up with the latest news by visiting TexasScorecard.com. This edition of the Texas Minute was based on the original reporting of Luca Cacciatore, Deborah McClure, and Daniel Greer. It was produced by Nick Shepard in the 1836 studios. I look forward to seeing you out around the Lone Star State. Have a great Monday.
Thanks for listening to the first news of the day for the Lone Star State. This has been the Texas Minute with your host, Michael Quinn Sullivan.